Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I got in a couple scopes from Victoptics, which I believe is either like a sister company or a subsidiary company of Victoptics. But anyways, these two scopes are very similar, so I decided to put them both in the same video. Along with the scopes, Victoptics also sent me a few patches and then a couple poker chips. I don't know if those come with every order or not though. So both of these scopes have a model name of S6 and they're both 1:6 by 24s. They do have different model numbers. This one is a fiber optic reticle here, but you can see we have the OPSL 22 and the OPSL 33. They are both very budget friendly, so I'm hoping that the quality is there and that the performance is pretty decent on them. But as always, we'll do a real quick unboxing. We'll go over all the features and specifications of them, get them mounted to something, get out to the range, try them out, and come back with some thoughts on them. So I will say they do have pretty decent packaging. The cardboard's actually pretty thick and nice. They have, company logos on there, names on there, model numbers. You would not believe how many scopes I get that are just a plain white box with nothing on it at all, or just a plain black box. I will say I don't really care for this design that runs through the name. Like this one here, when I first took it out of the box, I thought somebody took a marker and basically like tried covering it up, but it's just like kind of like their design. I kind of wish that was more here and not across the company name there. Let's start here with the 33, the fiber optic one first. Kind of see what all we get here. Looks like we have some mounts. Those are actually really nice quality boxes. Again, most of them are just like a plain white box. Looks like we have a throw lever. We're going to have the scope itself. Got a little sunshade or screen there. We do have some lens covers on there. I'll show you that in a bit. And we got the manual and a lens cleaning cloth, which is branded. I always appreciate that. In the manual, there's some QR codes for websites, for user manuals, Facebook and Instagram accounts. I'm going to assume that the 22 is very similar. So same mounts, same screen, same throw lever. Same sight tools, manual, and cleaning cloth. So these have 30mm tubes, some unofficial dimensions with the lens covers on. They're right about 10 inches long, and we're looking at not quite 2.5 inches wide. We are looking at a weight of just over 15 ounces. Add in our scope rings, scope mounts, we're just shy of 20 ounces. Those scope mounts do say Victoptics on the side of that box, and then there's different QR codes for that. I will say first impression of them is that they seem to be of really high quality. Nice anodization. They're actually like branded there with their logo. These actually seem really nice. Alright, let's take a close-up of the scopes themselves. I know that they are made out of 6061 aluminum, nitrogen purged. They are, I think, IPX4 waterproof rated. Again, flip up lens covers. Let's slide those off. So we have a diopter adjustment here, super smooth on that. And again, they are 1:6 power or magnification, and then 24 is the size of our objective lens. Let's check out this. A little bit stiff on that right at first, but again, we do have that throw lever that we can put on there, and that's already loosening up some. It is textured, so if you don't want to use the throw lever, you have plenty to grip onto there. Again, I said it's a 30mm tube. This one here, which is the fiber one, I think this is going to be a red only reticle, and there's 5 or 6 Yeah, there's 6 adjustment levels or brightness levels on this. We do have locking turrets. They're the kind that you will pull up on. You can make your adjustments. Let's listen for any type of clicks. So audible and palpable. There's a stop after every single one that you can feel, and then you just push down to kind of lock it back in place. These are resettable as well. And what that means is, let's say that you're shooting at 100 yards and you had to move over to here to zero that in. All right. What you can do is actually take one of these red tools and you basically take this off, and then you can spin this back to 0. And then when you put them back on, it basically will lock your 0. So let's say now you're shooting at 180 yards and you need to do this again. When you come back to that 0, you'll be back at your 100 yards that you had sighted it in at. And you can see that our values are not MOA, which most of us are used to. These are milliradians, which is metric basically, and it's a 1/5 for every click. And I think a milliradian might be like 3.5 inches or something like that at 100 yards. And I'll quickly check the windage. Yep, same thing. Those feel really good. They are both serialized. Again, I always appreciate that when a company does that. It usually means they stand behind their products. We do have a fully multi-coated lens on them, which companies claim allow for more light transmission. It makes things clearer. If it's too bright and sunny, you can actually screw this into the end. This also helps prevent you from being seen. It basically, like if you were trying to be hidden somewhere, this kind of avoids that reflection coming off that. And the other scope is pretty much identical in every way, except for the illuminated reticle on this one is red and green, and there are 5 brightness levels to each. I know both of these require a CR 2032 battery, but I don't know if they're included or not. Nope, they are not, so we will have to get a couple for them. Try to show you guys what these reticles look like. This is the fiber optic one, and then I do have a battery in it now. I'm not sure how well this will show up or not, but let me move this out of the way so you can see there's the dot kind of right there in the middle of it. Let's go through the different brightnesses. So basically it goes 1 off, 2 off, 3, obviously see the dots getting a lot brighter than off. So there's an off between every brightness. That's 4, 5, and then 6. And it does almost look like a red dot, like on a like a reflex style sight. Very nice though. This is the reticle of just the normal version, not the fiber optic one. Definitely not, the reticle isn't like as pronounced. It's not as easy to see, but still there and still pretty good quality. Let's go through the different colors here. So really faint red. It's kind of like a horseshoe or like part of a circle shape. We'll be able to see it more as we get brighter here. There, it's starting to pick up. What is that, 4? Yeah, we're on 4 right now, and there are 5 levels and then it switches. So that's 5. You can also see a dot right in the middle of it, so it's like a half circle with a dot. Off, and then we have green. Green's definitely easier to pick up. Yeah, that's really nice. Alright, we'll try to get an idea of what this glass looks like and the reticles. That tree that I'm looking at over there is a little over 100 yards away. Right now I'm just on the 1x magnification, and this is with just the regular scope, not the fiber optic one. This is the same tree on the 3x magnification. And the same tree on the 6x. This is the fiber optic one on the 1 magnification. You can just see how much more pronounced that reticle is. I know the camera probably won't pick it up, but just looking through with my eye, this one is much clearer than what the standard version is. This is the 3x magnification with the fiber optic one. And finally the 6x magnification. Alright, I'm going to get these mounted to some rifles up next. And just so YouTube knows, putting a scope on a rifle does not modify it in any way. It doesn't make it do anything other than what it was still manufactured to do. I've talked about this in previous videos, but when it comes to like budget scopes that use budget mounts, before you ever even try mounting your scope on it, put your rings side by side on your rail, and when you look through it, it should basically look like it's just one continuous tube here, which these look really good. If you're off right here, and when you spread them out, you're never going to get 0 on your scope, and for sure never going to maintain that 0. But again, these look just about perfect. Also, it's best practice to use a level on these and a torque wrench to get your screws, torqued down to the right specifications. And you always want to go in a star pattern when you are tightening these, and don't over tighten because you can damage the scope. Alright guys, out at the range here this morning with both of those Victoptics rifle scopes. Going to get them zeroed in. I'm set up down there at 50 yards. I'll probably end up putting 50 to 100 rounds through both of them, just to kind of get an idea of how they perform. Here's a quick tip for you guys. If you carry your rifle in a soft case, if your scope has a throw lever on it, always keep it basically kind of like in a vertical position, because if you have it over on either side while it's in your bag, this thing here can definitely like rip a hole in the side of your bag. So whenever I transport mine, I always keep it like this. So I've had a chance to use both of these scopes, and I'll give you guys my thoughts here in a minute. I first want to show you, just in case like you're looking at these and trying to figure out, maybe which is the right one for you. I printed off the specs for both of them. They're very similar in almost every category. Again, they're both 1 to 6x24. They're both second focal plane scopes. Just about everything. You can see that the lens coating is a little bit different between the two. The reticle is a little bit different, but other than that, almost every single spec is the same. And I know that I showed you what they look like outside, but here's a comparison of the reticles. The one on the right here is the fiber one. The left is the regular one. Again, the fiber one only has the red. The regular has the red and the green. So these scopes were obviously packaged well. They seem to be very well built. They have a good fit and finish, overall. They both have very clear glass. There wasn't any fogging or anything like that. But I will say that the fiber one did seem to be a little bit clearer. I don't know if it's because of the lens coating that they used on that one, but things did seem a little bit brighter and a little bit sharper. The diopter adjustment is very smooth, easy to adjust on both of them. Your magnification, again, super smooth. I've had some of these that are so stiff and tight that it almost takes two hands to do it. And you basically can keep like your field of view while you're adjusting this. Again, I've had others that you have to like basically move your head and face up here to be able to see to crank on this. Very smooth. And speaking of the field of view, the eye relief on this is very generous, probably in the 4-inch or so range on both of them. And also regarding the field of view, the image that you're seeing is very crisp and it goes like edge to edge. Some other scopes you'll get kind of almost like a little bit of a black ring right at the outside edge all the way around. Didn't notice at all with either of these. As I mentioned earlier, the turrets are audible and palpable, and you can reset them to 0. Having 5 and 6 adjustments on your illuminated reticle is nice. So if it's dawn or dusk, you can have it set real low. If it's a bright sunny day and you need it to be a little bit brighter, you just crank it up a little bit. It's also nice that if the batteries were to fail, that your reticle is always there. Few other things to mention here. There's absolutely nothing wrong with these scope rings. In fact, they seem to be of pretty good quality, but I would prefer that they used a cantilever mount instead. Also, I'm not sure if it's because of like shipping reasons or what exactly, but there was not any batteries with either of them, so just keep that in mind. And finally, they only include a 1-year warranty with these scopes. But overall, I do think that they're great, and I would definitely recommend them. They're way better than anything you're going to get from like Barska or Tasco, Simmons, even some of the Bushnell products. These are way nicer. So at the time of me recording this video, both of these scopes are available on Amazon. The non-fiber one is coming in at $100, and they have it in 2 different colors. And then the fiber one is coming in at $105 right now. And I do think that might be a sale price on the fiber one because I think it's normally around $120. But either way, $100 and $120, absolutely fantastic prices on really good quality scopes. So I will leave those Amazon links on the video description if you want to find out more information, on these scopes or pick one up. It'll be down there. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.